Hey folks, today I'm going to show you how I crochet a cozy for my Yoplait wheat yogurt jars. I've gotten a lot of views to my Etsy listing, so I thought I would just show you guys how I make them. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I used some Lily sugar and cream cotton yarn, but you can use any worsted weight yarn. I just like the idea that this is cotton. Obviously, you will be needing a pair of scissors. You will be needing a US G6 4mm crochet hook, and of course, a tapestry needle to sew in your ends. Let's begin, shall we? Hey there. So I am going to start this with a magic circle. If you don't know how to do a magic circle, there are so many tutorials, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. And if you don't want to watch a tutorial, you can simply do a chain 4 and then join with a slip stitch to form a circle and work into that. In this situation, I actually prefer the magic circle just because it lays flat, which I think is a little bit better for a jar. Anyway, here we go. So I'm wrapping this around my fingers with the working yarn behind. I'm putting my crochet hook through and pulling the working yarn through to make a loop. And then I'm just gonna pull that a little bit. And that's pretty much it. It might not be right, but it works for this. So now I'm just going to simply make one chain stitch to start. I'm going to make my circle a little bit tighter. Okay, I am going to now do 9 half double crochets into my circle. 1, 2, and I'm crocheting over that end, which is great because then you don't have as much work to do when you're finished. And I really need to stop talking because I've already lost track of my count. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to pull that a little bit tighter. And now I'm going to join in my first half double crochet. Pull through that. And now I'm going to do another chain. And we're essentially going to now do 2 half double crochets in each stitch, but I'm going to start by doing 1 in that first stitch where I just joined. That might be a little tough. And now I'm going to do 2 in each one around and 1 in the last stitch. I find that that's how it looks best, and my joins are a little bit less noticeable. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and the 18th is going to be in that last stitch. And again, we're going to join in the first half double. So not in the chain. You can count back also if you're not sure where to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I was actually wrong. It's there. I've only been doing this for 20 years. Sometimes these joins really make you crazy. Okay, now we're going to do, we did 18 that round, and we're going to be doing 27 in this round. So I'm going to do a chain again, and I'm going to do 1 in that same stitch and 2 in the next. 1 in the next and 2 in the next. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You're ending with 2, and you're going to join in that first stitch. So that's pretty much your bottom. Now we're going to chain 1, and starting in the next stitch, we're going to single crochet in the back loop only. 1 2. See, that makes like a little bit of a ridge because I am so fancy. 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26. And I actually really like in the last stitch to go through both. I just think it looks a little bit better. If you want to go through just that back stitch, that is fine. So now we're just going to be, we're not going to join anymore. We're just going to do 9 more rows of 27 around. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to count again. So that was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27. So that's my first stitch. And what I like to do is I use my tail to mark that first stitch, just like a little cheat. And now I'm going to be doing 9 more rounds of 27, and that stitch is not right. And I will fast forward at this point and come back in a second. Welcome back. I'm glad that you're sticking with me. I am currently on my 10th round. And then that's sort of when the more interesting, fun stuff happens. It is going to be a blast. Not really, but you know what I mean. Okay, any moment. Okay. Couple more stitches. Okay. So now what I'm going to start to do is I am going to do a slip stitch through all of my stitches. And you don't want to do this too tight, because if you do, you're going to have a heck of a time getting it over the bottom of the jar, because the bottom of the jar is a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So you're going to have a hard time getting that on if you do these stitches too tight. So I love the look of that. I think it's such a pretty finish. That and doing the backwards single crochet, I love that as well. And I've done that on different yogurt jars. When we're finished with this round, we're going to cut the yarn, but we're not done yet, and I know that's weird, and it's one of the reasons that I never created a pattern for this, because I'm not sure that I would have been able to explain this quite right in a pattern. And it's not, what I'm about to do is not your normal thing. Okay, so am I there yet? I think I'm gonna, there's always that one that's sort of half and half, so I'm gonna go through that one as well. So in order to do the next thing that I want to do, I have to cut the yarn, but I need to leave enough to finish. So what I do is I wrap the yarn around my hand 14 times. I know that's so weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to cut. If you're nervous, you can leave yourself a little extra. I picked my kind of crappy scissors. And now I'm just going to pull this through. Okay, I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to do one, I don't know how to explain it, so I'm just going to show you as soon as I get this threaded. I'm going to turn this upside down, and the first stitch that you made, I'm just going to go under that, like that. Pull that all the way through. And don't pull that too tight. And then you're basically just making another stitch. And then you're going to go through the last stitch you made and through to the back. Might be a little tricky. And then just kind of zhuzh it a little bit so that it actually looks like a straight row. It's because it's really not, but it looks like it. It's good enough. Nobody's going to look that closely. Take it off, and now we need to get our hook somewhere. It doesn't really matter where, but get your hook under one of those free loops and do a chain, and then do another chain. And now we're going to do another round of single crochet through that back loop. It should go in there pretty easily. And just not so that I don't bore you, I'm going to sing because I feel like it. I know that's weird, but I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. Then I was young and unafraid. Oops. And dreams were made and used and wasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, no wine untasted. I actually learned how to crochet when I was on tour with Fiddler on the Roof. Tradition, tradition, tradition. I had plenty of free time backstage during that show to knit and crochet, and that's kind of where my love for all this stuff started. Okay, I am getting very close to the end of the round. Keep saying row when it's really a round. I haven't been counting, and I should. I probably need one more here. Doesn't really matter where it goes. This stuff, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. And now I'm going to join in that first stitch again, but that's actually just going to be like your first, because now you're just going to do that chain, that slip stitch through all the stitches again. But the tigers come at night. I know I'm nuts. With their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your hope apart, as they turn your dream to shame. He slept a summer by my side. He filled my days with endless wonder. He took my childhood in his stride, but he was gone when autumn came. Okay, I am getting toward the end of my round. I'm going to do one more. And I am going to pull that through, and we're going to do exactly what we did before. Thread my yarn. Turn this upside down. Go through underneath both stitches there. And then go through that right there. Should be pretty obvious where it goes, I think. You're just making another stitch. So that looks pretty, it's pretty good. And now you're just going to, however you like to do this, weave in your end. This is hard to do when you're videotaping yourself. I'm not doing this great. So I think that'll do, and I'm going to go back through that a little bit. And I'm going to cut that. Unfortunately, I grabbed a really bad pair of scissors. I can't even believe it. I mean, I can barely cut. I don't know what ridiculous. Note to self, when making a YouTube tutorial, make sure you grab the good scissors. And my tail is still here from when I was counting. So I'm going to pull that out. And I'm not even going to sew this one in because this one, well, maybe I will. But you get the gist. I don't need to show you that. And now I'm going to grab my jar. And this might take a second. I'm actually going to pull on it a little bit. You do want that top to be tight. And there you have it. So cute. There's the bottom, nice and flat. I just want to say one more thing. There's another yogurt called La Fermier. There's another yogurt as well called Nunos. They're both delicious. And the jars are very similar. You'll see they are the same shape, but the Yoplait is a little teeny bit smaller. So you can make, if you like the La Fermier yogurt, you can follow the same tutorial, but I would use a G7 hook instead. It's just a tad bigger. Maybe even use the G6 and just do another round. That would work as well. Anyway, I hope you like. I have a couple of other cool tutorials if you want to check them out. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, happy crocheting. Bye.